I am Jack Hayes. For years, I wore the FBI badge with pride. Out on the highways, I was known as the Lone Wolf, the guy no one wanted to see in their rearview mirror. Most illegal drivers didn't stand a chance against me. I was fast, cold, and relentless. In the beginning, I believed in it all. Every offender I stopped was another step toward a safer country, toward cleaner roads. Every ticket I issued was like a brick laid in the construction of something bigger. Justice, order, but not every wall you build stands forever. My downfall started on an ordinary morning. I was patrolling a stretch of Highway 105, clear sky, the smell of hot asphalt, the constant roar of heavy engines. A motorcyclist shot past me like a missile. Must have been going over 110 miles per hour. I hit the lights, floored it, and pulled him over a few miles down the road. He was just a kid, maybe in his early 20s, sweat running down his scared face. When I asked for his papers, I saw it in his eyes. He knew this could wreck his life. Fines, license suspension, a record, and then he made the offer. He handed me a wad of cash to simply forget it. In that moment, standing between order and chaos, I hesitated. I thought about my mother's house, buried under a second mortgage, about the hospital bills stacking up like a flood. I thought about my sister working 3 shifts just to raise her kids after her husband was killed in Iraq. And then, almost automatically, I took the money. It was quick, cold, like a glance that should never have happened. The first time always seems smaller than it really is. I convinced myself it was an acceptable detour, a small sin in the name of a greater good. I still believed I was the same Jack Hayes as before, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And mine had just begun. After that first time, there were others. Wealthy drivers, drunk executives behind the wheel, spoiled heirs and imported cars. The money flowed like gasoline from a leaking tank. I didn't even have to ask. They knew what to do. A look, a subtle nod, and I accepted it. The respect of my colleagues began to change. They could feel it, even without proof, that something was off. I became more isolated, like a sick dog pushed out of the pack. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a hot afternoon. I had pulled over a black Audi weaving across lanes. Young man behind the wheel, wrinkled suit reeking of whiskey. When he offered me money to settle it right here, I didn't realize it was a trap. The camera on my vest was running, the entire dialogue recorded, every word I spoke, every nod, every acceptance, everything. The next day, I was summoned to headquarters. What I found wasn't a meeting, it was an internal tribunal. The accusations came like blades: misconduct, corruption, collusion, expelled, without honor, no second chances. When I walked out of that building for the last time, I didn't even look back. There was nothing left there for me. I spent months in silence, drowning in shame and bitterness. I watched my image being destroyed across the news. Ex-FBI agent caught in highway bribery scheme. Neighbors whispered. Friends disappeared. I fled to the countryside, to a town so small it barely existed on the map, where no one knew me. I bought an old motorcycle, a worn leather jacket, and gave myself to the forgotten roads where nobody asked questions. I thought I could bury myself in anonymity, but the road never forgets who you really are. On one of those trips, I found real evil. A gang of smugglers who ruled the deserted routes. They hijacked cargo, terrorized truckers, made people vanish if they resisted. At first, I tried to ignore it. It wasn't my problem anymore, but the old wound of honor still burned. I might have fallen, but I still remembered what it meant to be an agent, what it meant to protect the innocent. So I decided to act, alone. No badge, no issued weapon, just me and my old bike. I spent weeks tracking the gang, studying their moves. I knew how they thought. Predators, like many I had hunted before. On the night everything changed, I set an ambush at the old Route 50 bypass. An abandoned bridge, no cell coverage, perfect for disappearing. When they came, armed to the teeth, I was already there, waiting. I won't lie, it was brutal. 1 man against 6. There were shots, fists, blood. In the end, the police found the smugglers tied up like packages of meat, their weapons scattered across the ground, and a letter taped to the chest of one of them. One day I failed. Today I made it right. Jack Hayes. No one ever found out exactly who had done it. But that night on the local radio, I heard a trucker say something that stayed with me. There are ghosts on the road, and some of them protect us. Today, I still ride. No badge, no official gun. I carry my mistakes like open, aching, deserved scars. But I carry something else too. The hope that maybe after such a deep fall, there is still a way back home. And as long as there are roads, as long as there is injustice, Jack Hayes will keep riding. Even after that night on Old Route 50, I knew my story was far from over. The local newspaper said it was the work of anonymous vigilantes. Some called me a legend, others a ghost. The police, of course, didn't ask too many questions. They knew the roads were safer than they had been in years. But I knew better. In the darkness of forgotten highways where the map fades and only instinct leads the way, evil doesn't disappear so easily. It just changes its face. Days later, parked at a dusty, forgotten gas station, an old trucker approached me. He looked nervous, glancing over his shoulder like he was being chased by ghosts of his own. Without saying a word, he handed me a crumpled note. The note had only 2 lines written with a trembling hand. If you really want to make a difference, go to Elkridge. They need you. Elkridge, a small town cut through by old highways and surrounded by dense forests, a place where, according to whispers, something even darker was festering. A human trafficking ring protected by men wearing badges as dirty as the criminals they were supposed to fight. I felt the old fire ignite again in my chest. It was no longer about redemption, it was about doing what was right. No badge, no spotlight, just me, my bike, and the road to guide me. That night, under the pale light of a lonely street lamp, I started the engine. It roared like thunder, splitting the silence. I was heading for Elkridge, and deep down, I knew not everyone I would face there would be wearing a mask. Some of them would still be proudly flashing a badge. The question now was, how far was I willing to go to clean up the rot? How far can a man go when he has nothing left to lose? If you enjoyed this story and want to find out what Jack Hayes will discover in Elkridge, leave a like and comment below. I want the next part. Get ready, because the road still holds many ghosts to face.